level, like from kindergarten to first grade, you gotta pass the test, right? From 5th grade to 6th grade, you gotta pass the test, right? You get it from middle school to high school. Pass for what? Oh, y'all so smart. But that's good. But see, we gotta realize that it's always a test. So you gotta be thinking like, what test do I need to pass? You know what I mean? To get me access to my dreams. Now raise your hand if you want access to your dreams. You say, I'm coming in, dream. So I'm gonna think like royalty. See, I put that pause. So, and that's the first thing I want y'all to realize is all of your thoughts. As a person thinks, so are they. If I make you think that you ain't nothing and you believe that right, I won't apologize. You know, but I want you to realize that you're valuable. That's the thought I want you to leave out here with, that you are valuable. Okay? Can't nobody do what you do. You know, how many of y'all ever seen the story Cinderella? Alright. Now, I'm gonna tell you about it. Cinderella had an evil stepmother, right? And she had a fairy godmother, right? Both of them thought differently about Cinderella. Now, I'm gonna tell you about the next step, which is talking about speaking like royalty. Because when you speak based upon what you want to see. You know, look, ooh, man, dessert's coming in the room. Y'all like that? See, I spoke something that made you feel good. Celebrate your moment with you. And that's what we gotta do. We gotta speak things that's gonna celebrate where we're trying to go, right?
Yes.
You know, if you agree, say, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, ooh, that and so you gotta mind your words. And what I mean by that is like you gotta dig it. You know, you gotta make sure you understand if your words agree with what you think, what's coming out your mouth agree with what's in your head. And the people you talk to, all your friends you surround yourself with, make sure they agreeing with what's coming out of your mouth. Make sure that's agreeing with what's in your head. You see what I'm saying? Everybody on the same page? That's what you gotta do. Always check your atmosphere. Now, the reason I brought up Cinderella, because when I went to go see the movie, y'all, I was tripping out because the Archbishop was talking about, you know, you can say this over yourself in your life, go ahead and decree on what's. I'm like, yes, sir. Got a good job. Got another opportunity, no more contracts, because I started agreeing with myself. On purpose and with purpose. And so, the Cinderella story. Y'all heard of that, right? Okay, now, the evil stepmother she said, you ain't gonna go to the bottom. She grabbed that girl's dress, she ripped that girl's dress. You know what I mean? Pushed her on the ground, say you ain't going. You know, she put all that hard work in, she redid her own dress, it was looking real fly. You know, and she was happy, she was feeling very special, right? And she was gonna cry. And that was a bad prophecy. That was speaking bad over somebody's dream. That's just the example I want to kind of paint in our mind. Okay, now you got another thought that came out of that situation. The fairy godmother. She supported, let me tell you how she supported what she said. She turned the little rat into the thing, the horses. She turned the pumpkin into the big old carrot. She turned her dress so fly, and she started spinning around. It was pretty blue like a shirt over there, you know, looking real nice. And then out of nothing, she made them glass slippers. Out of nothing, she said, this is my specialty. Now everything at 12 o'clock turned back into itself, right? But the glass slippers remained because that was her specialty. Every one of y'all got a specialty. Look to your neighbor and say, hey neighbor.
Hey neighbor.
I got a niche.
I got a niche.
That's my specialty.
That's my specialty.
And her niche was making shoes. So she said, you will go to the ball. She turned all this stuff to support what she said about that girl. Now see, when I was talking about the winning team, you're going to have friends that's going to support your dream. They're going to turn this stuff into what you need. You got mentors that's going to turn counseling into what you need because they're being where you're trying to go. You got coaches that's going to push you to get what you need so you can experience your dream. So you got to pay attention to what people say. That makes sense outside my head, y'all? And then the other thing is the act like royalty. Look at your neighbor and say, act like royalty. Because you are. Now, you got to agree with your support. Who knows what a king and a queen do? Raise your hand if you know what a king or a queen do. Yes, ma'am. She rules a country. Now, I'm gonna show y'all something y'all got in common with the queen and she's ruling the country. What is everybody doing right now but me? Eating and doing what they sit down. Okay, now queens sit down and the king, they sit down and they decree and they declare things and people go do it. They be like, bring me some crunch potato chips. Bam! They coming back with crunch potato chips. You see? But Ruffles, he wants a Ruffles. You know, but you speak things. And you gotta understand that you can speak stuff, you know, through your actions. Remember we talked about that? And see your actions, people watching how you do what you do. You gotta agree with what's coming out your mouth. Say, hey me!
Hey me!
No, y'all sound stupid. Say, hey me!
Hey me!
I agree with you!
I agree with you!
See, and that's what we gotta do. We gotta let our actions, we gotta let our words, we gotta let everything we do agree with what our dream is of whatever you at, like if you're in high school, agree with graduating. If you're in college, agree with your degree. If you're gonna be an electrician and you're going to a trade school, agree with that. Follow through when you can move in the level of excellence, create standards, and say, this is my integrity right here. And that's a line you gotta look, you know how you draw a line in the dirt? Be like, cross it if you want to. You know what I mean? That's what we gotta do with ourselves. We gotta say, cross this if you want to. You know what I mean? But if we don't cross that line, because we want to stay in that level of integrity, you want to have your standard, right? You know, if my wife didn't have a standard, I wouldn't be the leader I'm learning to become. And I wouldn't have my blessing. You know, if the college didn't have a standard, I wouldn't have my AA degree. If the No Child Left Behind program didn't have a standard, I wouldn't have a tutoring business. But I learned to identify what the standard is, to fulfill that level of integrity. That means do what's required for your dream. All right, we say, I will.
I will.
Do what's required.
Do what's required.
See, you gotta continue to remind yourself, you know, that it's enough, that you are enough. And guess what? Everybody say, oh, you know what? They be like, hey, you know what? I ain't get to plug in this resource or that resource. That's how come people give excuses why they couldn't do it, right? And I realized when I was listening to myself giving excuses, I said, okay, you know what? There's two types of persons I can be. I can be, you know, resilient, which means that you are resourceful. That means that you're going to continue to search. If you can't help me, if then you can help me, I'm going to keep on searching till I get to you. I ain't going to stop. Oh, well, she can't help me. So I just can't do it. I can't go to the pool and go swimming with you, Marcus. You know what I mean? But see, that's the thing, you know, you got to make sure you push. You push until you connect with your goal. All right, you got to be resourceful. You don't have to just plug into your resources. Be resourceful. Push until you get to it. All right? So we're going to say this out. So say, me, I'm a push. Until I get you where you need to be. And see, that's something I learned to do, and I was able to experience. I'm a published author now. Okay? I'm a motivational speaker for real. Like, it's a career, you know, because you can speak, but I'm learning to do it as a career. Because my mama said, you can do something at a level of excellence, but not establish the professionalism, so you can't get compensated for it. So you gotta say, okay, you know what I gotta do to get compensated for my dream, so I can do it as a career, not a hobby, not just as a helping hand, but as a career. You know, and that's what most people want to do with their dream. How many of y'all want to do your dream every day? See, and that's what you gotta do. You gotta say what's required to do it every day. You know, you gotta think like royalty, you gotta talk like royalty, and you gotta act like royalty. And if you do that, you're gonna experience royalty. And what's royalty? AKA, it's your dream. And guess what? How many of y'all want to wake up living your dream? So guess what? You gotta get your dream out of your head. I'm gonna show you a way to do that. Now, when your dream is in your head, it's called imagination. I'm doing the shortcut version because we ain't got that much time. Now, a dream inside of your head is a goal. It's a dream. But you want to get it out and you want to transform it to a goal. But in your head, it's called imagination. So everybody put your hand on your head like this here. And say, dream, get out of my head. And then when you throw it down, say, go. Say, go. Say, go. Now see, goals require action. Goals thirsty, you gotta give them some sweat equity. You see what I'm saying? Goals require you to do something so you can experience something. A goal is social. A dream is personal. When it come out your mouth, you see what I'm saying? Like royalty. They come out your actions like royalty. And people say, oh, this is a very important dream to this person. You know what I mean? I need to help them, and it's not a joke to them. You know, because people are going to evaluate how you handle the stuff that you share with them. So, was that information kind of useful to some people? It made some sense a little bit. Midget-sized sense. Okay. Well, I'm going to share a couple more extra things with you guys. One says, have an attitude of gratitude. Who knows what that means? An attitude of gratitude. Yes, sir. A good attitude. It means to appreciate what people are doing for you. How many of y'all have did something for somebody and it was like murmuring and complaining the whole while? You're like, look, I ain't never gonna ask you no more. You know what I mean? You're like, look, man, I ain't gonna ask somebody to ask you no more. You know what I mean? And so, you have to make sure when you help with people so you can get the credit for your energy, you gotta have the attitude of gratitude. That makes sense outside my head? All right. And the last one I want to share with y'all is this. A definition I heard by Tony Robbins about breakthrough. And it really made me smile because it's something that I like to do all the time. And I believe that all y'all can do it too. Look to your neighbor and say, neighbor, let's make the impossible possible. See, that's the definition of breakthrough.